you charged our corporate card to get your nails done.
This is a business expense.
This is not a business. I'm going to choose my words very carefully right now. This is not a business expense. You pointing at a screen while giving a presentation is not a business expense.
But they're going to be looking at my hands, and I wanted to look really good in front of the client. Like, I'm very client facing. So, I mean, I felt like this was a valid expense.
You're not client facing. You're going to be in the background. You're going to be on stage for 2 seconds. You can't expense your nails to the company card. How much did you spend? What did you spend? I need to look up this before.
I mean,
as your manager, I'm responsible for all of your expenses.
On License to Glow, they have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. So I just pay $159 a month, and I can go get my nails done as much as I want.
Right? You signed up our corporate card for a subscription.
I mean, I'm saving you guys money because I'm not going and paying the full price every time.
I'm going to hang up right now, and I need you to refund the company. Call up this company, License to Glow, ask them for a refund. Either you pay out of pocket or we're going to have problems.
Okay, so get this. So there's this girl at work who's about to get fired. As the IT manager, I always know about any onboards or offboards before they happen because they want to make sure that I revoke access to their emails, and they want me to make sure that they're locked out of certain things so that nobody who's getting fired can go back and like shoot a company-wide email or anything like that. So I'm one of the first people to know when somebody's going to be onboarded or offboarded so that I can prepare their computer and their access and so on and so forth. So my boss, who is a super bitch, and the HR lady have been telling me we have an offboard coming up and this is super confidential. Nobody can know about this. And they keep saying that it's confidential, it's confidential. And I found out that the girl that they're firing, she's a really sweet girl. Like, she just got a raise, she just got promoted, like, she does a great job at work, and she's always super sweet whenever you talk to her. So I'm like, okay, something strange is going on here. Now, normally when it comes to affairs of onboards and offboards, I don't get involved. I just tell them what to do. I don't talk to the employee that is getting offboarded or whatever, just because that's not my place, that's not my job. But this particular employee that they're about to fire, she's such a sweet girl, and I've had many interactions with her where she's just been very positive and upbeat. I know that she recently got married and she recently got a raise, so I know that it's not because of her performance. I felt like something else is beneath the surface. Y'all, I feel like God put it on my heart to tell the girl that she's about to get fired. So I text the girl and I'm like, hey, meet me upstairs by the elevator. And she's like, okay. So she comes upstairs. I pull her aside, like out of view. So I tell her, you're about to get fired, and they're about to do it on Tuesday. This was Thursday last week. And she starts bawling. She's like so taken aback. She's like, what do you mean I'm getting fired? And I was like, I don't know the reason. All I know is that they already have your replacement. They want me to prep your computer for that replacement. And she kept on asking me, like, do you know why they're firing me? Why are they firing me? Why? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't get any of that information. They just tell me what to do with the assets. That's it. So, do you know this girl proceeds to tell me how the HR lady who keeps on telling me confidential offboard, her and the HR girl were actually friends before she started working at the company. Now, they go out to lunch sometimes, they chat, they text, they call, they hang out outside of work. The girl who's about to get fired, she was chatting with her friend that works in HR. And she was telling her that she was so excited, she just got a raise, and they were celebrating. You know, it was like a happy moment. Somehow, some way, the HR girl goes back to my boss and tells my boss about the conversation that, oh, she was discussing her pay, and one thing led to another, and the boss calls the girl who's about to get fired into her office. So my boss is telling her, why were you discussing that you got a pay raise? You shouldn't be doing that. And she really ripped into her. And the girl was like, oh, I apologize. I didn't realize that I wasn't able to discuss getting a pay raise. As a matter of fact, when the HR girl, my friend, got a raise, we had a very similar conversation where we were both celebrating and I didn't see anything wrong with it. And she says, ever since that conversation, things have been strange. Neither one of them want to talk to her. They both have kind of been avoiding her. They haven't been as friendly. And now she's getting fired. Y'all, corporate America is nothing to play with. I've seen people undercut, backstab. I've seen people do some conniving, evil things, thinking that it's going to benefit their position in the company, or maybe help them with a pay raise, or maybe help them get close to somebody who can better their circumstance. And I have seen some cutthroat, heartless, cold individuals just do some very disgusting things. And this situation is one of them. So my intention here was just to tell the girl ahead of the weekend so that she could prepare herself, so that she could gather any evidence that might work in her favor, because I feel like specifically in this case, they know that they have some damning evidence against them, which is why they kept on telling me it's confidential, it's confidential, it's confidential. The HR girl knows that she said some things that could possibly incriminate her, so she wants to make sure that she catches this girl off guard. It's about to go down. So I text my girl, cause she's my girl now. I text her this morning. I was like, hey, happy firing day. Like, I hope you're ready. I hope you got all the evidence that you need. Make sure when you walk in there, you hit the record button. Because we're both interested to know what reason they're gonna have to fire her. And my girl, she ready, okay? She said, if they don't come with the severance package, if they're not paying out my benefits through the end of June, I'm not signing anything. If they refuse severance, I'm going to ask HR why they're refusing severance. I'm also going to ask for a written note where they say they're not going to contest my unemployment. I said, yes, girl, you understood the assignment. So here we go. I'm about to go to work. I feel so happy because I gave somebody that empowerment. I remember when I got fired once before, how it felt. I felt so unprepared walking into that conversation, and I really wanted her to just take this opportunity to prepare herself. So, like and follow for part 2. I got fired, y'all. I got fired. They finally found the video. That video, they found the video. So, y'all know I had to come back and tell you what happened. 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks and 1 day, because today's June 16th, I posted that video on May 25th. 3 weeks later, my employer, they found the video. So I went into work today. Everything was very normal. I helped the finance department set up their check scanner. While I was doing that, I had a couple of the executives come over to me, and they were asking for help with this or asking for help with that. And and it was like so busy that the finance guy that I was helping, he was like, oh wow, you're popular today. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. So I don't think anything of it. I'm just going about my merry little business. I have an interaction with my boss that's a little bit strange, but not really. So what happened was, one of the executives asked if I could make his laptop a personal laptop and remove it from the domain of the company that I work for, that I'm contracted by. So I have to run it by my boss. And so I had to go and ask her for permission. She was like, oh yeah, he's an executive. He gets whatever he wants. Just go ahead and do it. But before I asked her, like when I knocked on her door, she looked up and she had this look on her face like she was irritated. You know, she had this look on her face. I couldn't quite place it, but it was just like a fleeting look. Once I started talking, you know, she, you know, changed her demeanor or whatever. And so she gave me the approval. I went, I did the laptop, I gave it to the executive, and that was that. Maybe like an hour later, she stopped by my office and she's like, hey, did you get such and such situated? And I said, yeah, he's good to go. And she was like, okay, thank you so much. And that was it. I would say like 30 minutes after that interaction, I went to go like look at my Slack messages or my email or something to follow up with a user, and I couldn't get in. My email wasn't working. My password wasn't working. And I immediately thought, okay, I'm being offboarded. This is me being offboarded. I'm like, shit, they found the video. So I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm collected. I'm like, okay, this is the day. My time is up, okay? The jig is up. So I leave, and when I leave, I call the company that I have the contract through, and I'm like, hey, I just want to know, am I being offboarded? And he's like, I don't know why you would be. I don't have any orders for you being off. Like, what? So he's like, let me check on that. I'll put a ticket in, and then I'll get back to you in the morning. And I was like, okay. And maybe like an hour later, I got a call from the guy who cuts my checks. And he was like, hey, Tiffany, so I'm just going to get straight to the point. I got a call from the company, and I'm pretty sure you already know what this is about. They do not want you to come back to the site. And I said, is this about the TikTok videos? And he said, yes, this is 100% about the TikTok videos. So I'm thinking in my mind, I wonder who found out. Like, who was it that actually encountered the video? Was it my boss? I'm interested to see how all of that went down behind the scenes. Like, I want to know. If you're out there and you're watching this video and you work at the company, please let me know how it went down behind the scenes, because we gotta know. The people want to know, okay? Also, the HR girl was not in the office today. I did notice. I don't know if she got fired for what happened, for what I said. I don't know why she would. I'm not sure. Or maybe she saw the video. Maybe she's the one who encountered the video and she didn't want to come to work today and face me. Or maybe whatever I said in the video, she was so perturbed by it that she called out. I don't know. But the HR girl was not there. My boss was there. And she was pleasant, you know, she was pleasant enough. And so, yeah, that's how it all went down, you guys. So what's next for me? I guess I'm about to be a full-time content creator. So help your girl out, hit the follow button. You know what time it is. Like, we're doing this full-time, okay? No, but honestly, I've always wanted to do content creation, I've always wanted to do content creation and take it seriously, so I guess this might be the push I needed. I've also been wanting to get into real estate, so if you know anybody in Georgia who can help your girl do some fix and flips, I really want to get into that domain, because obviously corporate America is not for me. So there you have it. For all of you naysayers and haters, your girl was finally caught. So yeah, I knew it was a possibility, so I'm not blindsided by this. I didn't have anybody to give me a heads up, unfortunately. How ironic is that? But yeah, that's the update.
The amount of times that I will always and forever say that I fucking hate niggers. Oh my god, I fucking hate niggers. Like, I hate y'all. Like, I don't oh, we were slaves this entire, I don't give a but like, for a reason you guys were slaves. You guys don't know anything better than to steal. Like, oh my god. Like, I was literally eating food with my friend.
I just feel really bad. I just feel really bad that I was just mentioned, and And it's just so toxic, and I'm just so sorry about that. That is, as you can see, that's not my content. That wasn't my content back then. And I don't know, I just feel really bad. And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings.
So, story time. I got fired today. This is new territory for me because I've never been fired from a job ever. But yeah, I got fired today. I was working at a salon in New York. Our first client of the fucking day comes in and everything was peachy. Everything was great. None of us caught traffic on the way in. It was fantastic. Everything's great. They were talking about the Knicks. Cool. Go Knicks. We up. Champs is here. Cool. Everything's fine. Somehow, somewhere, some way, the conversation takes the hardest left I've ever seen. Okay? Takes a fucking left, and now we're talking shit about immigrants. We're talking shit about Palestinians. The word disgusting is being thrown around. Like, hard ass left. Okay? I wait a minute to see if the conversation is maybe going to take a turn because to something more positive. Because keep in mind, the person that is doing her hair, not from this country. The people that own the fucking salon that she's talking cash shit in, also not from this country. So, the conversation just keeps getting fucking worse. And me being me, you're never going to get me to shut the fuck up. You're never going to get me to shut the fuck up. And if there's a bully in the vicinity, they have to deal with me. And I don't want to fucking hear this shit no more. So I walk over and I'm like, hey, could we maybe change the subject? Like, just maybe talk about something else? What? I said, could we maybe change the subject? Like, I find your conversation offensive. Could we maybe just change the subject? I don't care. I can talk to my stylist about whatever I want. You're all the way over there. I don't care. I said, well, then you're disgusting because you should care about how your words affect other people. And I walked the fuck away. Now, she's still talking cash shit. I don't know what about me made her think that I gave a fuck, but I don't. However, the conversation was changed because now she's talking shit about me, which I don't give a fuck. But now the person that's doing her hair can just listen to that instead of her listening to her talk shit about her and possibly her family and anybody that she fucking cares about. So cool. I ended up having to walk past them again. And she's like, there's a lot of people that feel like me. And they come here. So you better watch your back. Watch my back for what, ho? You and your friends can get fucking dragged. Reel it in. I'm not upset. So I continue to let her talk shit. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like I said what the fuck I said. You're disgusting. So whatever you have to say means nothing to me. She comes to check out. I'm going to be having a very private conversation with the owners. And I don't care. Why? Because I do it again, and I do it again, ho. The fuck? Again, I don't know what about me made you think that I gave a fuck, but I don't. You're disgusting. So she's like, you're a dum-dum. I'm the dum-dum, and you clearly have not made it past 5th grade. Because that's all that you could come up with was dum-dum. Anyway, so she finally is done doing her best Karen that I've seen in a long ass time. And I go to the back, I check on the stylist. I'm like, hey, you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. I appreciate you, sticking up for me. I don't know what to say in those situations. English is not her first language. And she's also very timid. And that's no offense to her. It's just not who she is to stick up for herself. Me, however, I'm going to stand 10 toes. If there's a bully in the vicinity, they have to deal with me. She's like, thank you for sticking up for me, blah, 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 blah. I get a phone call at the end of the day, about 5 minutes before it's time for me to clock out. And it's, hey, I'm so sorry to do this, but I can't have this in my salon. You can't have what in your salon, Buki? Somebody that's willing to stick up for not only you, but for the people that work for you, the people that visit your establishment, and making sure that inappropriate conversations are not being had in your salon? You can't have that in your salon? Yeah, you're probably right. This is not the place for me. Because if put in that situation again, I do it again. because I don't give a fuck what racial group she was talking about, what religious group she was talking about. Change the fucking subject. Like, it's disgusting. It should not be happening in a salon, period. So I do it again, and I do it again, and I maybe drag the next bitch. So, yeah. That happened. That was my Monday. How was yours?
I just got fired from my job that I started 3 months ago with absolutely no conversation and no warning. I was told I was doing a good job, and last week my manager started ghosting me. And then I remembered today that she was going to Mexico for a week for a retreat, and she probably wasn't going to have a phone. So I'm like, how am I supposed to communicate with her? And so I go into the office this morning and we have a meeting, and then maybe 20 minutes later I get pulled in by her friend who's also a manager, and she sits me down, and HR is on the screen, and they're like, unfortunately, you're just not meeting expectations and we have to let you go. Part ways. No severance, nothing. And my manager is in Mexico. So I hope your day is going better than mine.
They fired her for being late 47 times and ended up legally having to pay $11.25 million. Let me break it down. So here's the story. Robin Europe was a personal training manager at Equinox. We know Equinox is a luxury fitness brand. Within 10 months, they fired her. They said that she was late 47 times. But here's where it gets interesting. She said lateness was just the excuse. The real reason, according to her, was race and gender discrimination. Document. She complained about a toxic work environment. Male coworker was making racist and sexist comments and showing up late himself with zero consequences. So her legal team pulled out the time clock data, and that data showed that other managers had worse attendance than she had. And not now one of them was disciplined for it. So a jury of 8 people saw exactly what was happening. This is why labor and employee laws exist. They awarded her $1.25 million in compensatory damages, $10 million in punitive damages. That's the jury saying, we're punishing you so you never do this again. Let me make an example out of you. And here's what every business owner needs to know. Every business owner needs to know that if you are employing people, human, if you're going to enforce a policy, make sure it's consistent. Because the moment you decide that you're going to be selectively applying that policy to certain employees while ignoring the same behavior in others, you've just probably created a discrimination case. And that's why you pay for tools and systems like schedulers, time clock, because that punch-in data, that attendance data, was the receipts that her legal team used to help tell her story. Document everything. Apply it equally across the board, because inequitable enforcement doesn't just cost you one person. It costs you the investments that you made in onboarding that person, training that person, their benefit, and God forbid, $11 million lawsuit. If you like cases like I do, follow me for more stories like this, where we go through some real numbers and how it applies to small businesses.
This massage therapist confronted this Muslim for wearing a hijab in Texas.
Islam is a organization,
yeah,
not a
you're
religion.
Not educated
not
about
a religion.
It.
I'm very educated on this subject. You need to leave. You're not welcome here.
We are welcome.
This is not a Muslim country. This is a Christian country.
So let me explain. These women were just shopping in Texas, where this woman in the video approached them and simply went off on a 2-minute rant. She's seen an increased population of Muslims in Texas and was simply tired of seeing hijabs everywhere she has gone to. With that being said, she just got fired from her job. What do you guys think?